Okay, we're back. Woo! Feels good to be back, don't it? Well, Cody opened up the show of Oh God, I forgot it's Dynamite. Well, we had Dynamite. Cody opened the show against Ortiz in the inner circle, and we'll come back to bite him after the inner circle came and assaulted one of the young bucks backstage, leaving him in a closed little drawing a garage door, and he was bleeding from the mouth, so it was brutal. Anything else, the match was okay. Roberts came with his associate or his yeah, he has his own client by the name of Lance Archer. If you don't remember, he was back on WWE. I think he used to be tagging with Tyler Rex. He was part of John Laurinaitis' group. I don't know why in the hell he. I know him because of now he's a part of from New Japan. He was the G1. Lost to Moxley for the IWGP United States title, I think, and also was part of the G1. He had some violent ass matches. And now he's with Jake the Snake Roberts. I don't think if that's the greatest foil for him yet, because Jake, Lance Archer's incredibly violent, and it showed up in this. I mean, Lance is completely violent and irrational. So at times, like he was trying to jump off the barricade and try to intervene in the matchup, while Jake is like telling him to take his time, and how calculated that is. So that seems like a good compliment. We don't know how much is this going to develop. We might think like Lance Archer might have his debut match next week. We don't even know if Jeff Cobb's officially signed with AEW. And I remember him from weeks ago before Revolution, so whatever's going to happen is going to happen. While there was a corkscrew leg whip to the finger for leg lock that got a victory. I think there was a Cody cutter, a little power bomb. Mandy came, slapped the shit out of Santana. I don't know why I call him Montana. I watch too much football for this type of crap. Cody came, taking out the little belt and tossing it to the crowd. I'm shocked nobody gets hit in the head with the metal part of the belt. There was a superplex after a counter with, I think, a hit to the crotch. I don't know, it was like a double hook thing, and then you got hit to the crotch, and then it was a superplex. And it ended up with the inner circle scene and getting ready for blood and guts involving the elite in the inner circle. And the rules look as quickly as it's War Games. It's just War Games. Nothing different about it other than two teams. There's a time limit how many people can enter until everybody's in, and then it'll start by pinfall or submission. It's War Games. I mean, do whatever works and can get the fans ready. I'm just waiting for something unique to happen to cut it from the crowd, because NXT took that from WCW, and WCW took that from NWA. So whatever in the hell makes it different, I guess. I mean, it's cool to see a War Games match, but it's kind of we didn't develop much other than some personal attacks from the inner circle or Cody's family that involves Cody because he's part of the elite. So yeah, and still until like Hangman Page came out of nowhere, hit that low bell lariat straight over to having Jericho or something, and then later on came with a steel chair and then flipped off. I think it was Nick Jackson. Next up, we had Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida against Nyla Rose and Babe Bristoli in a match. It was just a match. Double knee takedown. I think Chris Statlander, Hikaru was just with the most offense in the match. Other than that, it ended up with, of course, Nyla Rose picking up the victory with a spear from Rose, and then a beast bomb to counter, I think, a Hurricane Rana from the ground. It was like super violent. We forget that it's a dude. It doesn't matter at this point. whatever it is AEW wants the thing to do to be diverse, do whatever you want. Just make sure you don't shove it up to everybody's face before she gets major heat. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. Then later on, Bay came and attacked Nyla Rose out of nowhere to issue her shot for the women's title. So yeah, seems like everybody's getting for the women's champion. I'm shocked the previous champion Raiho isn't coming over to attack. And then we had, of course, the Butcher and Blade and MJF against the Jurassic Express. That comes with Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and MJF. Marco Stunt. And Marco Stunt, I think there was a 6-man tag before that he got himself lost. Or I think it was Jungle Boy after a failed tope and it ended up with a Judas effect from the outside. And now here he is losing again. Like the major pull is literally just Luchasaurus that's the most over because he's like a 6'10" monster that can do like a 450 splash and comes around bicycle kicking the shit out of MJF. Then a drop kick. Marco Stunt took a bit of stuff before out of nowhere. He took like MJF's finishing move. Butcher and Blade didn't have much to speak of other than just getting eaten on by the Luchasaurus. After it was a Soul of the Earth armbar for the victory, tapping out Marco Stunt when he was alone in the ring. Decent heat. I love the cockiness of MJF. It doesn't. I don't think he had that much momentum for most of it. Since his little feud that was ended like at the Bash of the Beach special on Dynamite week like last year, or I think earlier in the year, involving DDP, and I thought they were gonna do it on pay per view, but because still Cody was doing the trial shit, they were still having their match on pay per view, so I can understand that. I still want a mid card title, and I want MJF to hold it. They made this stupid ring just so they can bring more of the finesse into like MJF having this douchebag heelish gimmick. But no, a mid card title does it, or MJF should make his own belt or give some suggestions or something, just to make sure like he's a major heel and it feels like he has legit control of almost anything. I want that. Wardlow and MJF isn't enough. I want like if y'all watch Major League Wrestling, like we know he has the Dynasty thing. I thought those guys were going to get signed, but I think they weren't on Cody's radar. So yeah, I just want more on MJF because I feel like he's a prime cash cow for a heel. He just feels like a nuanced Ted DiBiase mix with not Junior, just a mix of Ted DiBiase and give him Randy Orton type athleticism, and you got MJF. So yeah, this is a good heelish motive to try to pick on the smaller one. Babyface comeback, and Marco's not trying to do like luchadorous things. I don't know why Jurassic theme because of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Obviously, two different times. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It's a dumb faction name. You could have made anything involving weird or beasts or something, but whatever. Because you got two midgets and a giant ass dude that looks like Mortis on your team. So whatever tickles your fancy. Big Swole interrupts Britt Baker after mocking Tony Schiavone again. Bring up that she's again a doctor, hates the crowd so she can get this minimalistic heat. Just a feud with Big Swole coming around saying, "You can hang out your boyfriend. We gotta stop you, Britt. We have Adam Cole. We can release him. We can release him." So it ended up with Big Swole getting choked with the coffee that you just gave to Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone's spirit just dropped with her like referencing that she's married and Britt Baker's obviously not. She's obviously anonymously in a relationship with Adam Cole, the current NXT champion at the moment. So yeah. Anything else is just Britt just blowing a gasket. I know they might be building up like a match with them in a few weeks. I don't think this is a pay-per-view worthy match, but this is like a decent feud to build up for Britt Baker because she obviously came into being like the cornerstone to a match involving being like a foil or a number one contenders match with Raiho because she's kind of been ducked into just feuding with Big Swole. And probably they'll do like a number one contenders match with that or some shit. But Chris Statlander is also involved. So I guess they are at least getting everybody to hunt for a tag, for a shot for the women's title. We have, of course, SCU's Christopher Daniels doing a bit of a parody of the Dark Order's little anonymous Titantron promos involving him being a liar, being the unsanctioned one, and challenging either Stu Grayson or Evil Uno to any other match on pay-per-view or Dynamite or Dark or outside. I don't know why he did this awkward ass promo. It felt so awkward. Unless he has more of the SCU guys with him. It just felt so weird. I just know because Matt Hardy's now part of AEW now, and it's like, well, we know it's going to be Matt Hardy. What else screams Matt Hardy in his current notion of how his career is going, other than the faction Dark Order? And plus, they need more than two members, because it just feels like it's just Stu and Evil Uno plus these people. So it just feels just much better to just have a guy that feels like more of a leader, or at least a foil for the Dark Order, and plus they needed more top stars because the only top guys to speak up on Dynamite is legit Moxley, Jericho, Cody, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks. Hangman Page is getting himself up there, and MJF is just starting up. He just needs more stuff and he needs more time. And Dynamite has this potential. I just think that they need more unique lines, they need more titles, but obviously need an authority figure. They need better managers. Arn Anderson just feels just there, and the only person that they've given like a guy that I'm excited for is actually just Jake the Snake Roberts, a great talker, a guy who's been in the business for a minute. He's a Hall of Famer. The guy obviously has like a great pull away. I don't feel like the best guy for him to manage is Lance Archer, but whatever can make Dynamite watchable. AEW is in the right direction. I just feel like they're missing a couple keys, like I always say in a couple reviews. But this was shaping up to be a good video, a good show until Dustin Rhodes was a surprise partner for Hangman Page when this was getting teased because Kenny Omega earlier, if you didn't notice, after the assault in the inner circle started assaulting everybody in the ring. It, Kenny Omega had an arm in the cast, so probably during Revolution he suffered a bit of an arm injury. So it ended up with Dustin Rhodes being a surprise partner to help out. Plus, he has a bit of heat with Sammy Guevara. And it ended up in a basic tag team match. Everybody started getting involved. There's, of course, Jericho taking over the beer. Cody came with cutting off the ring for his partner. They started doing the basic little fake uppercut. You know, gold dust momentum moves. It felt like nothing except he calls himself the Natural again. Yet he still has, he just looks like a fatter Darth Maul. Comes around with Jim Ross just saying that he's still in the best shape of his life. Like, he's like 50. Anything at this point except fat or dying is the best shape a 50-year-old man can have in his life. Other than that, I think Jericho came in with, I think, the walls or I think a Judas effect to end up the match. And then they ended up with, I think, Hangman Page saving everybody. Matt Jackson came with a couple super kicks. Until Jericho came with a steel chair on both him and Hangman Page. We ended the show like that with the inner circle still on top. And that's the main event. We, of course, have probably Blood and Guts in 2 weeks, so we're just hyping up the fact that we still have a big stipulation match that I think they should just tease for the next pay-per-view. But that's coming up like May, and we already had a pay-per-view on February, so whatever. I think they're having... Yeah, they're having their next pay-per-view come next month. That's next month, so whatever like makes AEW the most money, because I guess you want to do a gimmick match, but I feel like doing this on a pay-per-view just feels so much better. I already like hear the comments, and I already talked about this before that AEW has this WCW feel, but at least they do something to make sure that they are really on more of the in-ring standpoint of things, with a bit of slice of storytelling and history in it. And that's what makes me in love with this thing, and this is why I like watching this in more than NXT. And NXT is already fuming from the ratings because it's a developmental brand still. They have nothing that cuts above SmackDown and Raw because they have a lower cast. And it's just indie guys or at least dudes that are barely aired on TV. There's nothing about it that screams like, why am I watching this other than SmackDown or Raw? NXT doesn't have that type of popularity that at least ECW had at the time, because back on the third round on ECW, Elijah Burke, CM Punk, Tommy Dreamer, Christian, Ezekiel Jackson, William Regal, Shelton Benjamin, Zack Ryder, Yoshitatsu, the Hurricane. I would rather watch that. I'd rather. Wouldn't you? Because you remember those names. Most of these guys left for Impact, Ring of Honor, that are on the that are on the NXT roster, asking for the release, suffering from the virus, or doing any other crap, or suffering from the main roster. Nobody wants to watch NXT because you can just wait for the worst. It just sucks. There was also the Death Triangle that ended up in a sex position kind of submission hold. It looks super weird. I didn't want to talk about this because it was just a corny way, because it was just running top rope kick punt to the face. Joey Janela had a top cut hello that looked like he wanted to kill himself. Of course, the private party of one of the most athletic part of the babyface group. It seems like they really cut off that little angle that he had with Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford a month ago, and I thought that was going to go somewhere. They only had one match on Dynamite, and that was technically. I thought it was going to be built up for a Revolution, so they can have a bit of a storyline for AEW to hype up. But things like nobody cares that much about Joey Janela and Kip Sabian, that I think they just scrapped that feud for just a one-off match on Dynamite. Yeah, so that was technically it. There was, of course, I think the Swanton Bomb that failed, a Death Valley Driver that got only a near fall, a Gin and Juice into a Death Valley Driver that was the best part of the match. I think there was a fireman's carry into the into chucking him into the apron after Pentagon and Phoenix did a double stomp into a package pile driver. Then I think it was a brutalizer that ended the match. No, it wasn't. It was Pentagon and Phoenix using the finisher and then a black arrow. So yeah, heels for the win, and then they do this new finisher that I swear they're only going to last for like a few weeks until they stop doing it and just do normal, just post-match beat-ups. So that's technically the episode of Dynamite, and I'll give it a 5, because I thought it didn't do much to impact much. I know they're just trying to build it for the next week, because they have a big reason for you to watch Dynamite next week. But it's all well and good. I didn't mind this episode of Dynamite. I just expected a bit more. I thought there should be more build up to certain events. They should be obviously trying to do the next new or big thing, like make a tournament for like a new belt. I know Cody's trying to at least establish more of this roster, or at least do stuff trying to get more guys, trying to do more deals. But if you guys have all this money, I think you guys can make a new belt, or at least sign more established talent. Because you guys got Matt Hardy, and another dude is Lance Archer. Just why? When Killer Cross just went over to WWE. If y'all got Killer Cross, you got an established heel that's a threat, a great wrestler, and scary to watch. So why not get him? So that's technically my thoughts on Dynamite on the episode of March 11th, 2020. That is technically it. Like, comment, subscribe. Just down below in my video, so I don't have to pop it up to your face, so you guys know how this works. It's YouTube. It's over 15 years old. Get it for your systems already. I'm not going to baby you. That's technically it coming from the DST show. I hope you guys like the video, and that's it coming from the nation that dominates. You know what? Fuck it.